Hello and welcome to another brothercrypt video. Today I'm going to be covering token of the week. Now my choice for token of the week is Babb's, and I'll get into Babb in a short while. Before I do, I would just like to thank all of my subscribers. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and thank you to those that have been sharing, that have been subscribing. If you find this content useful, please do subscribe. Please do like it. It gives me motivation for me to share my experience in cryptocurrency with you. I first invested in Bitcoin in around, I think it was 2013 or 2014. Since last year, I've been taking cryptocurrency a lot more seriously, and I've been building up my own portfolio. The reason that I create these videos is to share my experience with others, and for me to document my journey. So when I look back in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, then I've got a sort of vlog of my activities in cryptocurrency. The reason I go by the name brothercrypt is because I wanted to help people with this moniker. When I started, there really wasn't too many people that I personally knew who were into cryptocurrency, so I took on the name Brother to be a helper. I kept it crypt because, I think all of these crypto names are a little bit corny and I wanted to stand out, so I just got rid of the O and thought, crypt has a dual meaning, cryptic, cryptography, gangster as well. So yeah, I go by the name of brothercrypt for those reasons. So yeah, if you do need any help, if you do have any questions, that's what I'm here for. And as my channel grows, I really want to be helping people that need that help. If people don't need my help, then I'm fine, making progress along the blockchain, creating these videos, and getting into cryptocurrency. Before I get into the video, one thing I will say is, like, if you are new to the channel and you haven't watched me before, I'm fascinated with cryptocurrency. I come from an IT development background in financial services, and I find that the blockchain is just revolutionary. It is a real mechanism to bring about freedom, to bring about a change from the current existing status quo. And that's why I spend the majority of my time, investing into cryptocurrencies, new projects, and really looking to get at the forefront of what's going on in the blockchain technology landscape. But without further ado, let's get into the token of the week. Yes, so as I mentioned before, we are going to be reviewing Babb. That stands for, if we scroll down, we can see it stands for Bank Account Based Blockchain. Further up at the top, you can see that they have a slogan, which is "Everyone is a bank." Now, as this subheading says, our decentralized banking platform will enable anyone to open a bank account and crowdsource financial services. So let's quickly just have an overview of the product landscape that they're offering, and then we'll just look at some of the fine points in the white paper before really looking at the team. Now, for full disclosure, before I get into this, I already have participated in the ICO. I'm never paid to do any of my reviews or any of my videos. If I ever was, then I would let you know. But the reason that I create these videos is because I'm creating a log of what I've been doing, and if I get into something and I believe it's valuable, then I create these others because I personally believe it's valuable, and you might see value from it. However, it's entirely down to you for you to do your own research. I just hope that my video and my content sort of helps you to get the basis before you deep dive and do your own due diligence. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the products. Okay, so what are Babb offering? They are offering a mobile banking app with a UK bank account, which is really good. Their UK bank account, will give you a IBAN and a SWIFT number. For those that aren't in the know, an IBAN and a SWIFT number are elements of a bank account identification, which enables you to send money to foreign entities for you to send money abroad. The thing I like about Babb's is that their vision is that anybody in the world can have a UK bank account, and those bank accounts can be tied to an IBAN or a SWIFT number, so therefore you can send transactions on money to anybody in the world with everybody having a UK bank account. I thought this was a real big deal. I like it because I have, family in Nigeria, in other countries, but mainly in Nigeria. And for me to send money to Nigeria, I have to pay a fee. And I thought, well, if my family in Nigeria had an app like Babb, which gave them a UK bank account, we'd be able to send money to each other relatively very easy. Now, as well as, having this app is going to also intertwine with biometrics, and well, you'll be able to map the face and you'll be able to have voice recognition as well. So what they want is to be able to have full banking, services for you to create a bank account, get issued with a UK bank account, all from the app. Use voice and facial recognition and biometrics, as a security protocol as well. Then they also have another element, which is verification. What they say is that they're going to be working on a sort of open platform, and they're going to have like basically community members who can do some verification. Some trusted members will probably have more weighting in the system. So if for any reason the voice or the facial recognition isn't enough, you can then go to a community member who can then verify you as well. And I believe that the way that they've mentioned this is that the reason that they say everyone is a bank is because they're looking to build a community whereby you can sort of use human ATMs. So for example, if I send money to my aunt in Nigeria, once she's received that money, if she wants to take it out, she can go to her nearest Babb member, and then that Babb member will have the cash, will have the liquidity to be able to give it to my aunt. So in a quick synopsis, that's how they intend to have a community where anyone is effectively a bank, where people can accept deposits and where people can also give out withdrawals as well. And then one of the things that they are looking to also create is the black card, as we can see here. Now, what they've said is that they want a promise of a decentralized card, to purchase items which is linked to a UK Babb account. And from what I hear, this won't be tied to Visa or MasterCard, which sounds really interesting as well. Then on top of that, on top of the mobile banking app, which uses biometrics, facial recognition, voice recognition, and then on top of the community that they're building, and then on top of the black Babb's card, you are also, you also have their token as well. And I believe that their token can be used for multiple purposes. So one of the things that they pointed out, which I'll get into in a moment, is that their token aims for central bank simulation of local currencies. So basically, one of the things that they're aiming for is that with the Bax token, let me just clarify this before I go on further. So the product is called Babb, B-A-B-B. However, their token is called Bax. Okay, so the token has the moniker BAX. So what they're looking to do with their token in the form of central bank simulation is to be able to mimic local currencies and to help people send money and receive money, and basically help central banks in multiple countries be able to help central banks have relationships directly with the people. The way that it works now is that, you know, central banks don't usually do banking with individuals. You know, this is why you have your retail banks, your Lehman Brothers, you know, your Northern Rocks, and those sort of banks. But you know, who knows? The future might change very quickly. Now, what will I move on to? One of the things that I liked about Babb was that they are located in level 39 incubator, and that's in One Canada Square, which is in Canary Wharf. So I'm going to show you some pictures of the Babb event that myself and Crypto Witch went to. So after the token sale, the Babb team, you know, they invited investors in the local areas to their office just to have some drinks. And I really like doing this because then, you know, I get to meet some of the people. I get to see how the team functions, because it's all good and well doing some things online, but there is no greater sort of way to really get to know about the company and to be able to attach a face to individuals when you see them in the flesh. So we were invited to their event, and then we decided to go. So this picture here, this is just, you know, this is at the end of the red carpet where they just had, you know, the wall of Babb. And this is the view from their office. This is Canary Wharf. Canary Wharf is one of the new financial districts in London, and this is looking over the Thames. So they had a beautiful view in their office. Now, Canary Wharf is a real popular financial district area, and you have, you know, HSBC, you have Barclays. You have some of the biggest banks in Europe, probably in the world, who are all centered in Canary Wharf. And then you have Babb looking to revolutionize, you know, the banking industry, and they're amongst the giants. I also spoke to their founder, Rushdie, and I really liked his view. Basically, to just cut a story short, I asked him, why are you here? And he said that he wanted to be close to the regulators, the UK regulators, which are the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority. And basically his view was that he really doesn't like banks, although he has some banking experience. And from him, I got that he has a little bit of anarchist vibe, and he really wants to be a revolutionary and change the existing status quo. So here's a quick picture of brothercrypt and Crypto Witch. And yes, this is a snapshot from some of the speeches that were being held. I think this young lady is called Annie. I'm not too sure. I might be wrong. Forgive me if I've got the name wrong. But yeah, there are people there, and they were just about to do speeches, so we were taking pictures. So I just took another picture so you can see sort of some of the people that were invited to the Babb's after token sale party. It looks like mainly people in the local area, a lot of city professionals, in my opinion, very clean-cut sort of crew. And then here we see, you know, Rushdie. This is the CEO. He was giving a speech, and then after this speech, I was able to speak to him. Okay. Now let's go back to the website and let me quickly give you an overview. Let me quickly give you an overview of the team. So here are, a quick snapshot of the team. I'll go into them a little bit more in detail. And yes, that young lady was actually called Annabelle. She was giving a speech, but we'll probably get into her in a bit. So I've already brought up some of the LinkedIn profiles. Let's have a look. Here's Rushdie. So he's the CEO of banking, and in his snapshot, he says he believes in the equality, financial freedom, and the power of social connectivity. With Babb, my mission is to give everybody the chance to be their own bank, participating in peer-to-peer financial services in a secure, trustless platform. All right, let's see if we can see some of his experience. So yes, we can see that he's the CEO, he's the founder. He's also worked for a company called WowPay Mobi, and that's a authorized payment institution in the UK. So obviously he's got experience of working in payments as well. He's also worked for Onda, which is a brokerage service as well, and they sort of provide financial investing into technological solutions. Okay, he's also studied locally. He studied in the UK. He studied in a close university in the University of Greenwich as well, where he studied microfinance. All right. So I think the next person is this person called Adam as well. We can see that Adam is the Chief Operating Officer. So let's quickly look at his profile too. So he's worked as a quantitative researcher, as a consultant. This is within Cambridge University, developing a trend following systematic hedge funds, investment strategy. So he's obviously got, financial experience. He's also worked as a futures execution trader as well for Quality Capital Management. Although I haven't heard of them. He also worked for Merrill Lynch. This looks like it was a short stint for about 3 months, and he worked there as a equity derivative sales trader, I'm guessing. Okay, and he also studied at the University of Cambridge. He did here with the Masters of Finance. Okay, and next is Paul Johnson. So if we can see Paul Johnson, he is the CIO, Chief Information Officer. Now, if we look at his background, he's worked for Sonali Bank, and he's worked there for over a year. And then he's also worked at Check and Credit Clearing Company as a portfolio delivery person. And also he's worked as a Chief Information Officer. Now this would probably have been a very good position with them. He's actually worked for a company called Aldermore Bank UK. I actually have a mortgage with Aldermore for one of our buy-to-lets, and I'm aware of them. So, he has worked for them too for a few years, and he looks, his CV looks very strong. He's also worked for Lloyds Banking Group as a global head of IT cost management as well. And I did get a chance to speak briefly with Paul too. So let's just look on. Let's just see some more. So we've got this guy called Noah. I hope I've pronounced that right. Let's just check what Noah does. Oh, I can't seem to see him here. Is he an advisor? What does Noah do? Okay, I can't seem to see him here, but he must be there. Probably I've missed it. So he's the head of research for Babb, and he worked as a banking inspector for the Central Bank of Egypt. So this is probably what's the word? A strategic placement. You know, if you want to be providing tokens and helping um, simulate central banking currencies, then you're going to really need somebody on the inside. And it looks like that's what Noah is here for. Um, Also, looking at Rushdie, he seems to be of maybe Egyptian sort of origin. So I'm guessing that they're targeting Egypt as well. Um, Guys, I also heard that they were in Dubai or sort of the Middle East region as well. So they are really looking to implement their offering all around the world using a UK sort of banking license. So yes, without concentrating too much, we can see that he's probably a valuable addition to the team. Now we have Annie Alexander. She's the head of marketing at Babb as well. Let's just look at her background. She spent a year and a half almost as a marketing mentor at Google Launchpad. You know, Launchpad is a program to empower founders by supporting their startups through mentorship and equity-free support. You know, so she probably has experience of helping startups get into Babs, and she's been active on the marketing. And let's just look. Here's Annie, the young lady that we saw in the picture earlier on. Let's just quickly look at her background. She's currently the head of communication at Babs, and she has experience of basically being a writer as well. She hasn't really worked for any big companies that I can see, but she does seem to have, okay, she has worked at Reed Business Information. I'm not sure what Reed Business Information. I was thinking of Reed the consultancy, but I'm not sure. But she does seem to have, experience at being a writer. And I would say that the communication that Babs are putting out is very consistent, and it really helps to keep investors and everybody in their community up to date on a frequent sort of weekly basis with developments made by the team. And I think this is the final one that we'll check out. Let's just look at Ricardo. Let's just see where he is here. Where's Ricardo? Ricardo. Strange how I pulled this up. Okay, so Ricardo's actually an advisor, but let's just look at his profile very quickly. So he's the chief product officer, as well as him previously being an advisor. Okay, so he's been in that position for 2 months. Maybe they haven't updated their website. And looking at his background, he's worked for Fjorge in a project management and program management capacity. He's got experience of testing, active management of products, doing like software development lifecycle, and he's worked for OVR, operational value realization consultant, in some form. It seems like he's worked with Accenture. Okay, so without digging too much into the team, I just really wanted to give you an overview of some of the aspects that I found enticing when I got into Babb. Now, let's just look at the current landscape. So here on CoinMarketCap, let me just refresh this so it's completely up to date. We can see that their token price is almost 26, like 26% of a penny. I think. I hope I've got that right. That's what I'm thinking, and it's really increased. I got into their ICO in February, and when I got into their ICO, I think I actually got mine for about a 13th of a cent. Excuse me, we're talking dollars here, not pounds. So yeah, now this is sort of evaluated at or at a 26th of a penny. I got in at about a 13th. excuse me, of a cent, as opposed to 26th of a cent. So their token price has actually doubled. Yeah, it's roughly doubled in just a few months, which is good. And you know, they seem to be up by about 6% today. In comparison with the rest of the markets, when I last checked, there was a lot of red. Oh, okay. It looks like the altcoins are rallying again in the last sort of 24 hours, which is good. We have a market cap of 400 billion, well, 396 billion, with the altcoins are rallying, but it seems like Babb is doing well. I guess we can get into this at another time. So where are we exactly now? Let me just take you through to their white paper. I may have already covered this, but I just like going quickly, skimming over the white paper, so you can see, you know, source of where I get my information. And then after this, we'll go into, you know, their timeline and where we are right now. So yeah, this is the white paper, by the way, which you can get from the website, last updated on the 20th of December. And this is what I read when I made my decision, you know, to invest into this ITO. So the problem is, as Babb put it, you know, there are 7 billion people in the world, and more than 2 billion people are unbanked. That means that they don't have access to basic financial service. And when people are unbanked, people are reliant on cash, you know, making it hard to save money, to take out a loan safely, or send money across any kind of distance. In an increasingly connected world, 30% of the population is disconnected from the economy. They said an initiative in Mexico to bank the unbanked found that opening bank accounts for lower income customers led to 7.6% increase in the number of business owners, a 1.4% increase in employment, and 7% increase in average income. That's huge, 7% in average income, just by people being banked. You know, on a broader level, financial exclusion is responsible for perpetuation of poverty, poor living standards, and exclusion from education and poor health, which is very true, you know, because in Nigeria, you know, there's definitely a divide of haves and have-nots. And most people that have, you know, they have bank accounts, and most people that don't have, you know, they probably don't have bank accounts at all. And I'm just guessing that they really struggle. They really struggle to live. They have poor accommodation, poor health, less opportunities. So that's evident, you know, just from my background and what I've observed. And basically, one of the things that they said here is Essentia recently reported that banking the unbanked represents a $380 billion market opportunity. And basically, in other words, even though the unbanked people of this world represent $380 billion market opportunity, the centralized banking system can't do much to unlock it. And basically what they're saying is that, you know, some banks, they say if you have very little income or you're going to be banking very little money, then it's not worth our overheads banking you. You know, we don't really want to give you a card, or we don't want to give you all of these banking facilities, because it's going to cost us more to give it to you and to manage it than you're probably bringing into our coffers. Okay, so what about proposing? They want to use blockchain technology to offer a bank account to anyone in the world with built-in access to crowdsourced financial services. It is possible to significantly cut the cost of banking and financial services to offer game-changing service and bring 2 billion people into the global economy. We think it will be good for everyone. The benefits of a decentralized model of banking don't stop at financial inclusion. We can high-end We can end high prices due to stagnant competition and data leaks due to poor security. We can also make the global economy less susceptible to shocks such as the 2008 financial crisis by decentralizing the decision making. Banks are weak and vulnerable compared to distributed strength and security of a decentralized banking platform in which each user is essentially their own bank. Very true. Remember what I said, that as you build up a community, if some people in the community are trusted persons, then they can help to sort of give money to others. They can take deposits and they can help with verifications and loans. So this is really what is going to be, you know, the unique selling point of Babb's, is that they're building a community, and then the community is going to be armed with technology, hence their product, you know, a beautiful smartphone app, a real UK bank account. As it says here, Babb accounts are issued an IBAN for international payments, as well as an account number and sort code for UK transactions. Now, an important point is Babb is already an authorized payment institution regulated by the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, and applying for a UK banking license. We will still operate even without the banking license. Okay, and this goes back to the community, you know, true peer-to-peer financial services, and as I mentioned before, a secure payment card as well. And they say that, you know, with the black card, we will create a new universal payment system independent of Visa and MasterCard, which is what I like as well. You know, having owned the 10x card, which was sort of backed by Visa. What we're in April now, and I still haven't received a new replacement card, and my card was cut off more or less on, you know, the first week in January 2018. 4 months later, 10x still haven't given me a replacement card. So although this investment is a long-term play, we really sort of need to veer away from the old card. So this is why I like, you know, some of the products that Babb are proposing. And, you know, they also talk about a central bank digital currencies. So Babb will work directly with central banks to issue their own digital currencies, working around existing local and international fiscal and monetary policy. We believe that central bank issued digital currencies will play a key role over the next decade, with many central banks having already announced plans to this effect. This is what I'm hearing as well. You know, basically it was central banks that bailed out, you know, the Lehman Brothers and all of the other banks which took risks with the sort of 2008 financial meltdown, because bankers were too greedy and were giving mortgage loans to people that weren't necessarily credit worthy. And then at the same time, they were sort of repackaging some of their debts with they were sort of reconstituting and remixing you know, real high risk debts with high class debts as well. So it was just a mess to the entire financial system as well. So this is something I like. And then the Bax token. All service fees and licensing on the platform will be collected in BAX, meaning any individual or business must hold Bax in order to use a Babb account. As a universal currency, Bax will also have many use cases on the platform, including ensuring liquidity of peer-to-peer currency exchange, facilitating cross-border fundraising and international payments. Token sale. Now, the token sale, guys, was already in February. The token sale has ended. However, the token sale is in two parts. So, Babb, in the white paper, they say Babb will issue 50 billion tokens, 30 billion of which 60% will be available for public sale over 2 phases. The first with 40% in 2008 and the second 20% in 2019 once the platform is live and the token is used. Any unsold tokens in each of these phases will be burned. Okay, so this is an overview of the white paper that I wanted to go through with you. So let's just look at the timeline and just wrap things up very soon. Okay, so do they have the timeline here? I hope so. Okay, I can't necessarily see the timeline, but off the top of my head, they did have a timeline somewhere on the website. There we are, roadmap. Okay, so here's the roadmap for Babb. So in this company's they've actually been registered as a company since 2016, and as you can see, they've applied for specific patents which are going to help them with the technology in their smartphone app, i.e. opening a bank account using facial recognition biometrics, and then also patent for opening a bank account using voice recognition biometrics as well. Now, they also finished their minimum viable product in May 2017. They had their token sale in February, and I think the token sale ended on the 21st of February, where they raised 21 million. And their app is actually planned to launch at the end of this year, around about November 2018. So where is the current landscape of Babb? So having spoken with Rushdie, who's one of the top guys, one of the things that he told me, he said that they're in frequent talks with the FCA, which is why they chose to be hosted in Canary Wharf in 1 Canada Square, and they are in the process of getting a banking license. They said that they aim to get the banking license before the end of 2018. And then another chap who is Paul, I believe I pointed him out in the breakdown of some of the employees. Paul said, we've got good feedback from the Bank of England, and now we've got a second stage meeting with them to go through our business plan and explain how Babb is going to comply with regulations and meet our objectives. And that was, that was Paul, who's the CIO, and Lloyds Bank, and he formerly worked at Lloyds Bank as well. So let me just check out any other interesting articles. Yes, this actually was a very interesting article I pulled up. I'll probably get into that in a minute. Where is it? Yeah, so this is the part I wanted to bring to your attention. So on March 13, Babb announced that it signed a deal with a banking and payment solutions provider, Cointis Group Limited, to use Cointis white label banking product and banking service infrastructure for its up-and-coming mobile app. The partnership will initially cover the integration of Babb blockchain banking platform with Cointis banking services, infrastructure and payment solutions, and provide Babb with a full UK banking license, which it requires to launch its mobile app to the UK market. We see Babb's vision to create a banking platform that can open a bank account with just a selfie and a voice as a very powerful innovation, which is very true. So just to summarize, what technology does Babb use? Well, it's their token is based on an ERC20 sort of token. So obviously they're using the Ethereum blockchain for their banking blockchain, and their project is going to consist of using Ethereum smart contracts, and at the same time they're going to be using machine learning to sort of facilitate their app and also the community of the network. They're also going to be using things like artificial intelligence as well, and with facial and voice recognition, then they're going to be using form of biometrics as well. So let's just look at the token economy. Let's just see how it's performed. Okay, so yeah, we can see that the Babb currency traded around about 0.3% against the dollar during a one day period over the last 24 hours. And one Babb token can currently be purchased for roughly around about 1/26 of a cent, or about 30 satoshis right now on popular exchanges. Some of the exchanges that they're on are DDEX. They're also on IDEX, and they're also on Fork Delta, which used to be Ether Delta, and they're also on the Bancor network as well. In the last 7 days, Babb has traded at around 120% higher against the dollar, which is really good. And Babb currently now has a total market cap of around 37 to 38 million, and it currently has around 2.39 million worth of Babb Bax tokens, which are traded on the exchange in the last 24 hours. So as I mentioned before, my ICO price that I bought in at was about 1/13 of a cent, but now it's going for around 1/26 of a cent, which in my opinion is really cheap, because they raised $20 million in their ICO, and currently they've almost doubled their market cap. Potentially, if things do go well, the way that they should do in a year or two, I see this as easily as a mammoth. I see this being, I don't mean to get too optimistic, but I see this being at least anywhere from $100 to $300 million. That's if they do get a UK banking license, and then they start to get the unbanked all around the world onto their platform. I do see that they will have quite a few places to go, because based on the information that I've shared with you, they have a partnership with Cointis, and Cointis is going to basically give them a UK banking ability, but that UK banking ability is only, by the sounds of segments of that article that I read, it looks like they are only going to be based in the UK to start with, which is fine. But really, for this to kick off, for them to target the unbanked all over the world, they will need to be working in the continent of Africa, probably in the Middle East, maybe even in places like South America as well, where the majority of people are unbanked and that will utilize these services. And when they do, in my opinion, they will be big. And however, with that said, there are other projects that they are competing with who also want to bank the unbanked. Just what I liked about this was the team. They were UK based. I like the technology that they're working for, and they only really wanted to raise 20 million, and they have already sort of been operational before their ICO as well. So they have a lot of good factors going for it. The project is ambitious, but we will see over time. So before I wrap up, I'll just talk about the token sale. Let's go back to their website. Yeah, their website's pretty cool, actually. I like the graphics. So yes, as I keep saying, The ICO price for me was around about a 13th of a cent. That means that for each $1,000 I invested, I got roughly around 800,000 Bax tokens. Okay, now, as we pointed out earlier, their token sale was, their token metrics is that they're going to have a 50 billion token supply, which is quite huge. I really don't like going for big token supplies. However, with Babb, everything else sort of aligned for them. That's why I went in. Currently on CoinMarketCap, we can see that they have a 50 billion token supply, but currently they only have 14 million token, and 60% of 50 million will go to token sales, which I like. The majority of the tokens are being sold to the public, and they say that those that aren't sold will be burned. However, in their first round of the token sale, they did sell out. Okay. Now, that's really it from me. I think I've just finished here. One of the things that I'd like to say is that, yes, their updates has been really good. So if you check here, you can see the medium profile, and they've been constantly updating the community. They also have quite a large Telegram group of about 15,000 people, and they constantly sort of send updates into Telegram as well. From Telegram, you're then able to read their updates, more details, or you'll check out their videos, which is good. Before I leave though, two of the negative points I would like to bring up is, one is that there seems to be, no immediate plans for them to accept or to send crypto apart from their own coin. So, for example, if you're going to have a banking app and you're going to be able to have, you're going to be able to have a bank account. In my opinion, it's not really going to take much for you to then have a wallet and be able to send fiat money as well as a cryptocurrency as well. However, this is what this article says on Bitcoin Magazine. Despite its banking platform on top of blockchain technology, Babb has decided to stick with fiat currency as opposed to developing a pure digital currency-based banking platform. Crypto is still a challenge. The CEO of Babb said, it will play a role, but we need to transition to that new landscape. Stakeholders, central banks, regulators, and the banking community are still evaluating the use of digital currencies in a financial system. We think the underlying technology of blockchain, smart contracts, tokens, distributed ledgers have a role to play in easing the transition, but we must walk before they run. So that's, that's very understandable. I think it makes sense. I would have just felt that it should have been incorporated into their design. However, I think that if you are going to be regulators, you do need to appease regulators. So if regulators just want you to have, the ability just to offer banking, then that's what you should focus on. However, further down the line, they probably do have the option, for them to intertwine it with crypto payments as well. So this was one of the things I was slightly uncomfortable with, and that I see as a slight negative. But so I just really wanted to bring it up to your attention. It's entirely down to you for you to make your opinion. And then the other point as well was the two-stage token sale. So to some it could be perceived as a negative. It really depends how you look at it. So if I was to, me as an investor, I'm just used to really doing an ICO, getting the tokens, having those tokens, and then lock it down. I don't see why a company is doing an ICO later on down the line. However, if I look at it from the perspective of a company, of their CEO, hell yeah, it makes sense. You know, it's a smart move as a business for you to raise money, for you to build your platform, and then after your platform is created and after it's been raised and you're bringing more value to the community, you can then sell a second tranche, a second offering of tokens, probably at a higher price, and therefore I'm guessing that would increase the price of the tokens economy so far, so it could work wonders. It's just that some people, they might see it as a slight negative. So those are, only the two negative points I could really think of right now, guys. So I just really wanted to bring that to your attention as well. So yeah, this is brothercrypt. The token of the week is currently Babb. It's doing well with its BAX token. I hope you've liked my my review of the token of the week, and I hope you can share some of the reasons why I like it, why I'm bringing it to your attention. So yeah, if you've got any question, guys, please do let me know. Please do leave it in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this brothercrypt video. So just before I sign out, I am going to announce details of my my giveaway, my over 100 subscriber giveaways, guys. So yeah, please do look out for that video. It will be posted on the channel very soon, in fact today. So if you're watching this video, then if you check on my channel, you should also see a new video for the token giveaway, guys. So yeah, thank you for taking time to watch this video. I hope it's been helpful to you. If you think it will be helpful to anyone else, then please do like it, please do subscribe, please do post a comment, and please do share it with others. Okay guys, until the next video, I'm out. Take care. Peace.